Tomorrow, January 23rd, we celebrate the feast in honor of the Blessed Virgin Mary's espousal to Saint Joseph. The Catholic Church teaches as dogma that Mary was a perpetual virgin even after Jesus' birth, but many non-Catholics disagree. And so, in our Mailbag-Friday nugget today, we answer questions like, did Jesus have other brothers? As many non-Catholics would say, words like firstborn and until in Scripture backs this up. The question mainly stems from text in Matthew's Gospel, which says, Matthew 13:55-56, "Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? And are not his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? And are not all of his sisters with us?" Matthew 1:24-25, "And Joseph, rising up from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had commanded him, and took unto him his wife. And he knew her not till she brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus." To help us answer the question, we will look into an article by Tim Staples from the Catholic Answers magazine. Let's begin. The term brother can mean a uterine brother, an extended relative, or even a spiritual brother. In Genesis 13:8 and 14:12, we read of one example of brother being used to describe an extended relationship, Abraham and Lot. Though they were actually uncle and nephew, they called one another brother. In the New Testament, Jesus told us to call one another brothers in Matthew 23:8. And if we examine more closely the example of James, one of these four brothers of the Lord mentioned in Matthew 13:55, we discover him to be a cousin or some other relative of Jesus rather than a uterine brother. Galatians 1:18-19 tells us, "Then after 3 years I went up to Jerusalem to visit Cephas, and remained with him 15 days. But I saw none of the other apostles, except James, the Lord's brother." James, of whom Paul was speaking about, was both a brother of the Lord and an apostle. There are 2 apostles named James among the 12. The first James is revealed to be a son of Zebedee. The second James, who was an apostle, according to Luke 6:15-16, is revealed to have a father named Alphaeus, not Joseph. The Catechism of the Catholic Church says, James and Joseph, brothers of Jesus, are the sons of another Mary, a disciple of Christ. 14 chapters after we find the brothers of the Lord listed as James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas, we find James and Joseph mentioned again, but this time their mother is revealed as being named Mary, but not Mary, the mother of Jesus. But what about the claim Jesus was Mary's firstborn son, and that Joseph knew her not until Christ was born? Emphasis on until. Well, in Exodus 13:1-2, the Lord said to Moses, "Consecrate to me all the firstborn, whatever is the first to open the womb among the people of Israel, both man and beast is mine." The firstborn were not given the title because there was a secondborn. They were called firstborn at birth. Jesus, being firstborn, does not require that more siblings be born after him. As for the until debate, until is often used in Scripture to emphasize what is being described before the until is fulfilled. Let's look at some Scripture to back this up. 2 Samuel 6:23, "And Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no child until the day of her death." Does this mean she had children after she died? 1 Timothy 4:13, "Until I come, attend to the public reading of Scripture, to preaching, to teaching." Does this mean Timothy should stop teaching after Paul comes? 1 Corinthians 15:25, "For he," that is Christ, "must reign until he has put all his enemies under his feet." Does this mean Christ's reign will end? Tomorrow we'll take a closer look at the vow Mary took as we explain the significance of Mary's perpetual virginity. If you have any questions about the Catholic faith, send your questions to rfwmalaysia@gmail.com. And subscribe to our free daily nuggets at www.redeemforworship.com. This Daily Nugget is brought to you by Redeem for Worship.
Ask a question. Say what you want to say. Write a letter. Today is Mailbag-Friday.
Created using Powtoon.